committee to address the petition filed by the affected individuals, Chepchirchir has failed to appear. The petition was submitted to the Senate by human rights activist Kimutai Kirui.
Watoto yangu walitoroka kwa boma, hawako tena nyumbani, ni kwa sababu ya chuti. Alichukua pesa zangu 80,800 na mpaka saa hii watoto yangu wako nyumbani. Nilikuwa nikienda kwa ofisi ninaambiwa ongeza pesa watoto waende UK ama waende Poland. Mimi nikaambia chuti sina pesa, mpaka saa hii nyumba yangu imeharibika, niko nje. Mimi sina amani kwangu, watoto yangu walinitoroka, wachapata kazi, wako tu wakihangaika.
Affected individuals have accused the Minister of Labour, Florence Bore, of neglecting to take action against fraudulent recruitment agencies in Eldoret and other regions. Chepchirchir has denied over 10,000 youths were defrauded by her agency, claiming that most of the affected individuals had received refunds. However, some of the youths and their parents have reported receiving bouncing checks. Kipngetich has appealed to the President William Ruto to intervene in the same manner as he did with the fillers scam in the country. Reporting for EBN, my name is Geoffrey Wanyoike.
Now on matters power, Energy CS David Chirchir says the investigation into the loss of electricity across the country last week is still ongoing. However, CS Chirchir says that the Lake Turkana wind farm will remain closed until the ongoing investigation is completed. The CS has confirmed that engineers from various ministries are camped in Suswa wind power plant to get to the root cause of the power failure.
Yes, about 50 of them, looking at the time logs for the blackout that occurred, and that lasted for over 15 hours. See any challenge in terms of load shedding? It's not a problem which we want to correct it by end of today, tomorrow. As soon as, like I mentioned to you, when your house drips, you don't go and switch it back on. You can burn the house. Let's confirm what is afflicting, where the challenge came from, correct that challenge and bring them back to the network. We know they are commercial interest. They are losing money. And even as we hold them back, we've invited them to come to Suswa to basically look at the audit log with us, and not for a blame game, but confirm where the challenge is coming from and correct that challenge and be able to secure our country together. It has worked. It has helped this country. Those are the questions we want to address. Do we go forward with G2G, or do we go back sucking 500 million out of the economy every month?
And the Operation Linda Ugatuzi group now accuses the government of a planned and well-orchestrated move to cover up consignment that was being smuggled to the country, hence the power blackout on Friday night last week. Well, the group led by its leader, Professor Fred Ogola, said in a statement that the cover-up was done by CS Roads and Transport Kipchumba Murkomen, who fired the CEO of Kenya Aviation Authority, that is KAA. The civil group now demands that the KAA produces an inventory of all arrivals and departures of passenger planes, cargo planes, and a manifest of passengers who flew into the country during the power outage on that Friday, 25th of August 2023. The group threatened to head to the High Court if the said details are not provided.
I'm Professor Fred Ogola on the leader Operation Ugatuzi. Today we have brought a letter of demand to the MD of Kenya Airports Authority demanding information, because we don't believe that the information we are being given is true. We've asked that how comes generators fail at the airport? It's impossible, because even a Kinyozi where I went, even a small shop, even a restaurant has standing generator that works 24/7. So outage is not going to be taken kindly. We have demanded that we are given how many planes landed, where are the manifests, what are the passenger planes, the cargo planes, what was being smuggled in the country that airports had to be closed. So we're asking for this information. If they fail to give us this information, we shall go to court so that the court can demand, High Court can demand that they give us the information that what were they smuggling in the country that happened. So we don't accept what they are saying. We need good explanation. Thank you.
And President William Ruto has said that the government is committed to constructing 20,000 houses in Bungoma County as part of the affordable housing plan. The head of state said the project will also offer employment opportunities to about 40,000 youth in Bungoma County. Ruto further promised the residents that every ward will have ICT hubs to improve access to the internet and consequently provision of digital jobs.
Ajira kwa vijana wa taifa letu la Kenya. I am telling you, for the first time, we have a comprehensive plan on creating opportunities for employment of the young people of our nation using deliberate, intentional government programs that will expand opportunity for the young people of Kenya to contribute their talent, their knowledge, their expertise in driving the economy of our country. Tutashirikiana jameni, watu wa Mount Elgon? Tutashirikiana? Jambo la tatu, mimi nataka vile vile tukubaliane ya kwamba wakati tunasukuma masomo, tunasukuma ajira, vile vile tunasimama pamoja kushughulikia mambo ya matibabu. Tumekubaliana na Lusaka hapa ya kwamba tutakuwa na community health promoters hapa Bungoma. Wangapi mheshimiwa? 3,000 something. Yeah? Hapa Bungoma. Ya kuhakikisha kwamba hawa watu wote pale mashinani unapatana na muuguzi hapo kwa kijiji yako. Sio lazima uende mpaka hospitali ndio upatane na muuguzi. Tutahakikisha kwamba kila nyumba 100 iko na muuguzi mmoja anasimamia nyinyi. Anapima pressure asubuhi, anapima sukari jioni. Si ndio? Sio kama tunaelewana. So mujipange hapo. Ndio tuhakikisha kwamba hii matibabu inatusumbua, tunamalizana na yeye kwa sababu tulikubaliana mambo ya universal health coverage. Watu wa hapa Kopsiro anagure na yudagyo. Jebkurgur? Watu ya Jebkurgur tumekubaliana.
And now on matters teachers' welfare. Teachers across the country will receive a 9.5% salary increase, while more than 14 teachers will also be promoted. This is part of the contract signed between the Commission, that is TSC, and the union's representative today, or rather Monday this week. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers in Kenya, KUPPET, and the Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, and the Teacher Service Commission, TSC, had started a meeting or rather negotiation process on the increase of teachers' salaries. The teachers' unions are defending the implementation of the President's salary increase of between 7% and 10%, while the TSC is of the opinion that that is not possible.
The agreement, teachers have secured, 1, an increase in basic salary of up to 9.5%, payable in 2 financial years commencing on 1st July 2023. An increase in the house allowance for teachers categorized under Cluster 4, payable in 2 financial years with effect from the 1st July 2023. Promotion of 14,738 teachers in August 2023, and has advertised an additional 36,275 vacancies for promotions. And these vacancies run across the divide of our teachers. They include primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, and even those teaching in special needs schools and TTCs.
Our further commitment is that the parties have agreed on having technical committees to be addressing the issues which exist between the employer and the union from time to time.
Kenya National Union of Teachers have always demanded a 60% increase of salaries across the board. I want to proudly say here today that we have already secured 10%. I want to tell Teachers Service Commission that we are coming for the next 50%.
And businessman Jaswant Rai was released days after being kidnapped by armed men in broad daylight at the intersection of Wood Avenue and Lenana Road in Kilimani, Nairobi. According to his lawyer, senior counsel Kioko Kilukumi, the businessman was released by those, or rather his kidnappers, on Friday. CCTV footage captured on Friday evening at around 5:30 p.m. showed a Toyota Land Cruiser V8 along Wood Avenue. 10 seconds later, a double cabin pickup was seen speeding and overlapping before blocking the Toyota Land Cruiser at the junction of the Wood Avenue Road. The police commander also dismissed claims that police were involved in the kidnapping. Well, remember, the latest incident occurred just 1 month after a businessman with interest in cement production, edible oils and sawmilling was arrested after returning to the country from abroad and questioned on suspicion of sabotaging Mumias Sugar Company's rivals. The matter is still ongoing in court. And now taking on a look on the Kirinyaga political warfare going on between the county government and Kirinyaga woman representative. His female MCS in Kirinyaga County Assembly have strongly condemned the attack on their women representative Jen Njeri, led by the chair Milka Mumbi. The ward representatives are calling for speedy investigations into the incident. This comes on the backdrop of some calls by members of the National Assembly who condemned the attack on the legislator by a mob in Kerugoya. MPs from both the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio sides united in condemning the attack on the UDA legislator, which they described as an attack on the whole of parliament.
Niko hapa kukemea ile mambo ilifanyiwa women rep wetu, kwa sababu alifanyiwa kitendo ili wa mama tulikasirika sana, kwa sababu hiyo kitendo tulikasirika kwa sababu hapa Kirinyaga, watu wa Kirinyaga sisi tunataka usalama, na wale wote walifanya hiyo kitendo ni lazima watafutwe. DCI tunawatuma wafanye kazi yao haraka sana.
And we are aware that the investigation are continuing, they are taking place, and when the moment we get a detailed report from the relevant authorities, we are going also to discuss it as the county assembly and ensure that women have total security, women have good environment, so that we can have women or even the leaders as a whole working together, working in a good environment for the success of our county.
County Assembly ya Kirinyaga tuna mambo mengi sana, hata katika ile budget tulifanya tumeweka ya wanawake, tumeweka ya vijana, ndio tuwaendeleze. Tusitumie tu vijana kuwapatia tu pesa kidogo ama kuwanunulia pombe, wanavua furugu. Sisi tunataka vijana wetu wainuke, tunataka akina mama wainuke, lakini hatutaki wakina mama wetu na vijana watumiwe vibaya.
Ningeomba leaders wape wale wengine heshima. Ndio tukikosa heshima sisi kama wanawake, haki ya Mungu hata hatutaenda mbele.
Our youth, our women, our men never attack women leaders.
Hundreds of youth flooded the Kapenguria playground in West Pokot County for the KDF recruitment. The recruitment process kicked off on Monday with the KDF assuring Kenyans of a seamless and corrupt-free process. Cabinet Secretary of Defense Aden Duale assured Kenyans that the rot in the sector has been cleaned and no one should offer bribes for positions within the security sector.
Sasa kama mimi nilikuwa nafikiria height itanitoa, lakini nimetolewa na flat foot. Hiyo ni changamoto. Watu wengi tumetolewa na flat foot. So government sijui nitaambia Ruto atafute viatu zenye watu wa flat foot wanaweza vaa, ndio at least tuingie. Unajua kuna watu wengine tuko na nguvu lakini mguu na kutoa, so hata kama Mungu alitumba hivyo, labda alitumba tulindwe, lakini ni saa flat foot muangalie.
Hiyo system ya KDF, next time tafadhali mnapofanya recruitment kama hii ni vizuri tupitishwe katika kila process, sababu kama saa hii unapata kidogo mtu anaangalia kitambulisho na anakuambia haiko sawa, na wewe ni Mkenya unashangaa hujakimbia. Kwa hivyo sisi tulikuwa tunajua ni recruitment mambo na training fitness, lakini hatujafanyishwa hizo.
The National Council of Churches in Kenya, NCCK, is urging the government to address certain constitutional challenges, particularly due to the violations made by certain influential leaders. Speaking during a function at Amalemba, Friends Church in Kakamega Town, NCCK expressed their concerns on the difficulties on the constitution, or rather the constitution has faced over the past 13 years since its promulgation.
While we celebrate the implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 over the last 13 years, we do, however, note that there are some key areas facing hiccups and challenges. This includes a human rights violation. Cases of gross violation of human rights of citizens, either as individuals or as groups, continue to be witnessed in the country. The police and security agencies have at times been used to suppress the rights of the people, with arrests being adopted to silence dissent. In addition, the heavy-handed crackdown on demonstrators, leading to deaths of nearly 100 in the hands of the police. Further to this, the socio-economic rights to food, health, water, sanitation, housing, and fair employment opportunities continue to be undermined by endemic corruption. Over the years, there has been a notable progress disregard of the Constitution and laws of Kenya. Public officials are on record blatantly disregarding the Constitution or sections of the laws of Kenya or court orders. This has given root to the continued growth of corruption, as well as failure to actualize Chapter 6 of the Constitution, which sets standards for leadership. Constitution of Kenya 2010 sought to institutionalize most of the processes and structures of governance. Political rhetoric continues to threaten peace and security of the citizens.
Well, the tyranny of leadership have continued to be witnessed in the UDA party in Mombasa County. Some of the leaders in the area expressing concerns about the hostility between the Member of Parliament of the Eastern African Parliament, Iela Hassan Omari, and his colleague of Nyali constituency, Mohammed Ali, especially the difference in the leadership of the county. The residents in the area have asked the leaders to calm down their hostilities, saying that the election year is over and there is no need to continue with the fracas and the differences.
Na mpaka sasa hatuna kiongozi tutakayesema ati huyu ndio kiongozi wa chama ndani ya Mombasa, kwa sababu uchaguzi haujafanyika, na tusubiri kila mmoja ajiuze mashinani, aende kwa wananchi. La muhimu ni kuhakikisha tumerejesta watu wengi kuingia katika chama cha UDA.
Hamutatuumiza vichwa wakati wa kuchagua atakaye peperusha bendera ya UDA. Utafika. Huu ni wakati wa kufanya kazi na kutimiza ahadi ambazo watu wa Pwani wanazitarajia kutoka kwenye serikali ya William Samoei Ruto.
Well, let's now take a look on today's dailies, Daily Nation, The Star and The Standard. Starting with Daily Nation, right there, higher salaries for teachers as schools reopen. Well, quite some good news for teachers there. Teachers' unions strike pay deal with employer that will see the lowest paid tutors benefit more, with those teaching in rural areas bagging improved housing allowances. Clearly captured depending on the job grade, basic salaries, that is the current minimum, to the 2024 maximum, meaning up to 2024 December, many teachers will have more salaries bagged to their accounts. Well, quite a good news for them because they have been lobbying for more and higher salaries over the past few years. We do hope that now this one will quell the differences witnessed between the teachers' employers and the teachers' unions back in the days. Gallant heroines lead medal charge to save Kenya the blush. Well, looking at the medal table in Africa, Kenya is number 1 with 3 golds, 3 silvers, 4 bronze, making a total of 10 medals. Congratulations to our very own Emmanuel Wanyonyi, 800 meters, Daniel Simiyu, 10,000 meters, Beatrice Chepkoech, 3,000 steeplechase, and also we have 3 golds from 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters. Faith Kipyegon, who has really made Kenya proud, together with the dancing queen right there, Mary Mora, 800 meters. Indeed, they were received well once they jetted back to the country. Abraham Kibiwot, 3,000, that is under the bronze. Beatrice Chebet, 5,000 meters. Faith Cherotich, 3,000 steeplechase, and Jacob Krop, 5,000 meters. Good work and well done to the sports ladies and men right there for the good job they did put forth in Budapest. And now, Ruto issues Mumias order amid Rai abduction puzzle. President Ruto orders all persons currently at Mumias Sugar to vacate and withdraw all court cases. This even as Kabras boss and sugar baron Jaswant Rai remained mum over his kidnap ordeal. Well, remember that just a few days, the sugar baron Jaswant Rai, who also owns different companies across the country. Remember, Rai alone is, or rather, supplies close to 43% of the country's sugar quantity. Well, he was abducted by unknown people and later on released, according to his lawyer, Kioko Kilokumi, who just clearly stated that he is yet to meet his client and he will issue statement later on after meeting him and clearly being told exactly what transpired. Remember, while in Bungoma County, President William Ruto clearly stated that that is public property and anyone found or rather interrupting with whatever is supporting the public will not be tolerated with. Remember, Jaswant Rai is also an interest party in the sugar, Mumias sugar business right there. And immigration was, according to how now the Nyayo House, or rather work on the passport mess that has left 58,000 Kenyans, or rather individuals, expecting to receive their passports. That is according to the data given by Interior CS Kithure Kindiki earlier on Friday during, or rather Thursday, during his grilling by the parliamentary committee. And also officials promise fairness as military job drives start. Those who turn out without certificates of good conduct will not be turned away this year in the exercise that is expected to attract huge numbers, given that hiring didn't take place last year. Well, we do hope that now, this time round, there shall be many who will be given jobs right there at the KDF, but then the officials, led by CS Aden Duale, they have promised of fairness. There shall be no corruption or rather bribe giving to some of maybe officers within the KDF and also those who masquerade as KDF officers, yet they are not. Now, today's The Standard. Picture of the day still on matters sugar wars. Ruto wades into rice sugar wars. Well, President William Ruto, in vowing to crush sugar cartels, made reference to Jaswant Rai, who was abducted by an unknown person, saying he is a nobody to manipulate the industry. Well, we are waiting to see how that power play will turn out to be. DCI sleuths yesterday picked Victoria Commercial Bank CEO associated with Rai, questioning over Mumias lease saga. Also, still on that, President said court cases have to be dropped as they are stalling investment in the company. vowing to take action on the litigants. This is public property, that is his statement, and we will not allow individuals to grab property belonging to the people, that is President William Ruto, while in Bungoma County, stating that just one try, amongst others, will not be allowed to grab property belonging to the public. Well, we are hoping that this whole sugar issue will be properly dealt with. Remember that now sugar prices have continued to skyrocket day in, day out, with many Kenyans now being forced to buy 2 kgs at 500 Kenya shillings and even more depending on the brand. And then the question is, what can be done swiftly to make sure that our own companies, production sugar, milling companies in the country are up and running, and also the right investors are put in place to make sure that all this process is swift and the price of sugar is brought down within a few weeks or months. Fee shocker for parents in new term. Remember, many schools have resumed as of early today, with private schools reporting today, 29th of August 2023, for third term. Now, most school heads have been forced to increase slightly, or rather look for other survival means. Remember, in most schools, fees has been increased by between 10,000 to 20,000 Kenya shillings. Well, this is quite a pinch to most parents. Head teachers say they have had to devise ways to retain students in school. Remember, once school fees is hiked, many parents definitely will also have to feel the pinch. And now, will all the students be chased home, or rather sent home for more school fees? That means if you do that, then most head teachers have to be creative, look for other ways of making sure that students remain in school, and parents are able to raise the increase depending on the different factors affecting the need to increase school fees and other necessities within the schools. Expenditures still 785 on matters education. That is the shillings lowest amount some teachers will get in the new salary deal. Remember, earlier on, TSC together with other teachers union agreed to increase the earnings of teachers, whereas the tutors will get between 3 to 10% raise. The same is eroded in new taxation measures. Remember, in new salary structure, the raise is between 750 Kenya shillings and 5,000. And still, they tax as they get a rise. We do hope that they will have something substantial left in their pocket, according to what the government had promised earlier on, that their interest is making sure that Kenyans have something in their pocket. And remember now, on matters WorldCoin, fine print in WorldCoin Pact shows risky deal. A case in court has exposed the data breaches many Kenyans are exposed to after they had their eyes scanned for 7,000 Kenya shillings. This was quite controversial. Remember, the government later on started questioning who cleared WorldCoin to start collecting data in the country. Yet, the data was being collected at a government facility, KICC. Then begs the question of who is involved in all these kind of processes. Remember, before such activities carried out, definitely they have to get clearance from the government, because data, exposing personal data is quite risky, and it needs proper managing. Now, today's The Star. CS waive 61 billion debts to save varsities. That is according to Education CS Ezekiel Machogu. Auditor General has previously declared leading universities technically insolvent. And some of the universities, if we can just take a look quickly on what public universities owe, total of 61 billion. Breaking it down, pay as you earn, that is pay 13 billion, SACCOs 4.1 billion, unremitted salaries 4.5 billion, pension schemes 1.3 billion Kenya shillings. Contractors, they are owed 1.4 billion. Suppliers, 4.8 billion Kenya shillings. Universities declared insolvent, technically insolvent to date are 3. That is the University of Nairobi, Multimedia University, and Kenyatta University. Now, Ezekiel Machogu moves in swiftly to request MPs to waive 61 billion in order to save universities that are facing insolvency. Well, that is quite interesting. Remember now we do have a new university funding model that seeks to help universities, public universities, be able to keep up with the high cost of expenditures or their daily expenditures. Distress and hope as KDF nationwide recruitment gets underway. We now hope that many will be recruited. Right there, picture of the day, the Star highlights some of the activities that were taking place in Nairobi at the Kasarani Stadium and also in Lamu, right there. And lawyer who risked all in defending Kamlesh Patin, quite event procession. Those are some of the stories captured right there. And also lost hope. One of the issues we shall be discussing this morning with our guest. Jobless Naivasha man dies after setting himself ablaze. The second incident taking place in under 1 month or 2 months after yet another engineer did set himself ablaze in still an issue that isn't clear yet. Well, all this is like the man in Nakuru County, that is Naivasha, is all about a man who lost his job months ago, died after burning himself in Maimahiu, Naivasha, in an incident that left tongues wagging. That is quite interesting. Remember, this is the second event taking place due to loss of job, or rather the lost hope of looking for employment. One of the Kenya Kwanza government's promises to Kenyans is creation of employment opportunities. But then, remember, the CS of Sports, Ababu Namomba, insisted that the youth should be co-creators of employment. In short, they should be creating self-employment opportunities for others too, apart from waiting for what the government has in store for them. Then, what can be done to help those who lost their jobs or those who've been looking for jobs for years not lose hope? Because such incidences of people killing themselves or setting themselves ablaze is due to lack of employment and also the lost hope while they're looking for employment. We shall be right back with our day's discussion. That marks the end of newspaper review this morning right here at EBN Morning Live. We shall be taking a look on nurturing youthful leaders, or rather youth leaders. Remember, we are now seeing a change of wave in our leadership right here in the country. Many youth are taking up the positions, different positions in leadership, and now we want to take a look on how are they being nurtured in the country from the level of being in their tertiary institutions all the way to taking up different political leadership positions in the country. Remember, one of them that has been outstanding in Nairobi is Babu Owino, the Member of Parliament of Embakasi East. He's been a university leader for quite some years, and now Babu Owino has become a Member of Parliament and different positions later on in future. We also want to take a look on how are they being nurtured into different positions from the tertiary level all through to the national level. Don't go too far. We shall be right back. Remember to keep it EBN TV and also keep sending your comments through our socials at EBN TV and on Twitter at SAMMY ADIKA. Don't go too far.
the morning rush and the buzz. Find a voice you can trust, a voice of reason, a voice of direction, and a voice of hope.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Live. I'm Cynthia Nanjala.
And I'm SAMMY ADIKA. Rise and shine, folks. We hope you are ready for an energizing start to your day.
Absolutely. We are here to bring you the latest headlines and trending news stories from the world of politics,
business and finance, health and lifestyle,
agriculture and sports.
So grab your coffee, sit back and get ready for a fantastic morning of engaging discussions and news segments.
Join us through our social media handles, #The Morning Live. This is Morning Live, exclusively on EBN TV.
In a fast-paced world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your relationship with God. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we take you on a transformative journey of building your faith, without which it's impossible to please God. A journey of introspection and discovery of who you are in Christ Jesus.
For you to walk with God, you should not crumble when you come under pressure. Kama umeokoka, sema umeokoka mpaka mbele ya president, mpaka mbele ya chief justice, mpaka mbele ya kila mtu. Hiyo ndio kuokoka ya ukweli. Kuokoka ya ukweli.
Enjoy a faith-filled environment of worship and ministry of the word every Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 a.m. with Reverend Felix Kevoy, exclusively on EBN TV.
The word of the Lord today.
Hello, praise the Lord. My name is Pastor Joseph Musajawaza of Unfailing Love Ministries. I'm inviting you every Wednesday to join us on our program, Victory Through the Word. In this program, we teach you God's Word. We teach you to find solutions and answers to the struggles of life through the Word of God. Everything you ever go through in life, every pain, every tear, every worry, and every questions that you may ever have in this life. You may not get answers out there, but in God's Word, there are answers and there is a solution. The Bible says that God has exalted His Word above His name. In His Word, there is hope. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but His Word will always remain abide. I encourage you, engage with us as we study together, as you ask your questions, and let your questions be answered as you are built and as you hear God's Word. Our church is located in Umoja, Inako, near Olobon Hotel, just off Sango Stage along Moi Drive, and the court is known as Church Court. Give us a visit and your life will not remain the same. God bless you. Let's meet every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. only on EBN Television.
You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
Well, welcome back to the morning live right here at EBN TV. Remember to keep in touch with us through our socials at EBN TV and at SAMMY ADIKA. Let's talk about matters youth leadership, nurturing youth leaders in the country. So far, so good. What is being done, or rather, what are some of your observations in terms of bringing up this youthful leadership? Because we are being told every day they are the leaders of tomorrow. Then question is, what is being done to make sure that such leaders are different in terms of their vision, their outcome, or rather, and output? What can be done to change the course of action and also just have something different from what was being done back then? Joining me this morning is SETH ODOYO.
Yes.
Welcome. He is Rongo constituency, or rather sub-county youth leader with different other roles in different non-governmental organizations and other lobby groups that seeks to make sure that justice and also things are just done in the right way. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining me this morning. Let's start with just current affairs. We've seen a young man, 25 years of age, in Naivasha County, or Naivasha constituency, Nakuru County, setting himself ablaze.
Yes.
The question is, employment has been an issue. This is the second case of a young man setting himself ablaze, after the other engineer also did set himself ablaze with regards to employment, looking for job for months, and you end up being frustrated.
Yes.
What is happening amongst the youth in terms of themselves moving to that level of taking their own life?
Okay. We had always been told that education is the key, but I can clearly state that education is no longer the key to a better life. We go to school with the hope that we must be employed by the government, which is in most cases not possible today because yes, there are no jobs, but something can be done. Life has to continue. So with a fixed mentality that after school you have to be employed by the government, that is something that should be gone by now, because these people become frustrated, no real sense of direction, and that is why mental health issues set in, and they jump into taking their own lives.
Now,
so yeah, so I think young people must put it in mind that everything in this life is not a degree. Good life is not all about your degree. Have diverse mentalities. Where you get the job after your school, well and good. If you don't, just try to find another way of earning a living. You don't have to necessarily earn from what you went to school for. Yeah, let us stop killing ourselves.
Yes. Now the question is, this person is in this level. We've met others. So people are always frustrated, day in, day out, just because they don't have this employment. Some of them have struggled through education, and now they're in this position in terms of changing mentality, making sure that they have this diverse kind of approach to life.
Yes.
Plan B. What is done in our universities? How do we prepare these students? Are they really prepared well in terms of you can also be self-employed?
Okay. In most cases, students are not well prepared by their institutions. They are told that they will get jobs after schools. That is the reality. But I think there should be programs where students are mentored on other ways of earning a living after school, like businesses. We can also identify some skills among the students that can help them earn a living after school, apart from just what they have studied, put down on papers. Yeah.
That is interesting. You know, most students, especially when you're going through or rather by campus,
yes,
most of them feel entitled to jobs only because you do have a degree.
Yes.
So that degree alone is not enough to qualify you to get a job. What qualifies you to get a job is the skills you've earned through education. Now, we do have all these programs, and let's now talk about matters education, the cost
yes.
of education in the country. We now see that different, according to the standard has also highlighted the issue that as schools reopen for third term,
yes.
many parents are in for a rude shock following the decision by some institution to increase fees to cover the high cost of living and growing debts. How many will be able to afford this? Let's start with high school.
Okay. I think whoever is behind this fee increment and whatever is trying to kill education in this country. Because you cannot tell me a parent who is just struggling, no real source of income, or maybe no salary increment, will afford to pay more of what he or she has been paying. That is already overburdening them. So this way, I think just a few parents will be able to afford the required school fees after they increased, or none will, I mean, just very few. So with this direction, education in this country is headed to a very negative direction that I think should be addressed adequately before things go wrong. Because with this, in future, we will have a lot of insecurity, I mean, crime rates and what have you, because you are clearly trying to tell these students to drop out of school. A parent cannot afford. I am a student. I know my parent cannot afford. Why should I go on? I mean, I will lose hope. And after that, what will happen? You drop out of school, no job, and life has to continue. They will go into the streets, smuggle the dukas and whatever in order to make their, I mean, to earn that living, because you have a right to live. And you have to find all the ways possible to earn it. So this is not good at all, increasing the school fees.
Yes. Now, we also know that a new semester, a new year is coming.
Yes.
This September, and most students are joining. Remember, the Kenya Kwanza government proposed this new funding model.
Yes.
You are in the university.
Yes.
How is it going to affect you guys? If it comes to place now, how is it going to affect in terms of admission?
Yes.
In terms of affordability? Because people are already used to help, people are already used to that kind of system where a parent pays or other parts away with roughly at most 40,000.
Yes.
Yes, a year.
So for continuing students, I think it is not going to affect the continuing students, but those who are joining now. And still there is no clear structure. There is no clear structure or something that is being done too much to ensure that this is brought into its right place. Because up to now there are a lot of complaints about the new funding model and what have you. So we'll see how it goes, but I can confirm that it is still not clear up to this moment for many people. Yeah,
they will have to prepare themselves well for the new course. But then we have the issue to do with we've seen Education CS Ezekiel Machogu requesting and urging members of Parliament to waive the 61 billion pending debts. that universities, or and you know, this is making these universities not really that effective in terms of operation.
Yes.
The University of Nairobi, Multimedia University, and Kenyatta University, all of them have been declared technically insolvent. 61 billion. What is happening? You being in the university, what have you observed that is happening and causing all these kind of debts?
Okay. You know, a university, just like any other institution, has to run, but it can run, I mean, just if there are enough finances to operate its duties. And what I have observed, when there is no enough finance in the university, it is the students that are being affected the most, because these same universities cannot be, I mean, they cannot be able to pay their lecturers in time. A lecturer is just a human being like the rest. This person will come to the lecture halls frustrated. They need to pay for their children the school fees. They need to pay their house rents. They need to eat themselves, to eat something. They need just to do anything that is done. And if that is not in place, what's happening? You are killing the future of the students in that institution.
Yes.
So with this, I think it's not going to be okay in the near future if that is exactly what is going to be done.
All right. Now let's change gears to matters nurturing youth leaders. You being a youth leader from Rongo constituency all the way to Masai Mara University, joining the Linda
Ugatuzi. Yes.
Yes. All this, you being young,
yes.
What drives you into leadership?
Okay. Talking about what drives me into leadership, it's a combination of personal ambitions and my desire to change the society, and also the desire to ensure that people around me are just okay in terms of maybe mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and all that. So what drives me into leadership is I've just said that it is a combination of personal ambitions and my desire to do something, to leave a mark in the society. Wherever I go, wherever I touch, at least my presence can be felt even after I am gone. Yeah.
Remember now, do you think now, you being a youth,
yes.
and also you've met other youthful leaders, other
yes.
youth leaders across the country, from the Senate, Youth Senate, all the way to Linda Ugatuzi, you all interact with this kind of youth leaders. From your observation, do you think they have a clear vision of where they want to go, or rather where they want their leadership to take them, and also to take the country?
Yes. I've met a lot of young leaders. They have good ambitions. They have good visions. But what's happening is that they lack a credible platform on which to express these views, or I mean, just they lack mentorship, and I mean mentorship, all the resources that is required to mentor a young leader. But we have very bright minds, very bright leaders, young leaders on these streets. Yeah.
So how do you identify these opportunities and you grab them? Because we do understand that there are other people who came from the blues.
Yes.
From nowhere we see them on these platforms. Many think it's by virtue of, I know someone, I'm connected. The connection idea.
Yes.
You have to be connected. Lazima ukuwe na connection. Do you really believe in that? Do you need connection for you to reach somewhere, or you need to expose yourself for people to see what you have?
Okay. In most cases, people around us will not appreciate the kind of a person you are because they are doubting. But it is true that for you to get somewhere, you must have some connection. A connection with somebody you think is your role model. A connection with somebody who has already reached a place you want to reach. If you know that person, or somebody knows that person who knows that you also have the ability, then you are connected to that person, then you are likely to go somewhere. Because you cannot imagine someone who is maybe unexposed back in the village, you don't know that person and you are the leader, to come out from nowhere and yes, I agree that there must be connection.
But what of these instances where people come from nowhere,
yes,
completely back in the village,
yes,
but they stand out because of something?
That is because there is someone in that village who can identify the potential of that person and bring to the light what they have, and then they pick it from there.
Now, you know, there's also that drive you're talking about.
Yes.
You might have all these visions, you might have the capacity
yes,
to take yourself to somewhere.
Yes.
But then, what will make you stand out if you don't, by yourself, make a decision?
Okay. For every step, you have to make a decision. But okay, there is no way where you can be identified before you make a decision that this is the direction I want to go to, because there are a lot of challenges, you know.
Yes. So would you say that most youth don't have plan of who they want to become? They don't have a clear vision?
Yes, some of them, because they give up at some point. Because of the frustrations, they lose hope. They say like there is no one to bring them to light. They just lose hope along the way because of the many challenges that we meet in leadership as young people. Yeah.
Interesting. Despite all that being in place, I believe that the youth have something. Now, being in the university, now eyeing different positions from the university, we've seen most of these leaders,
yes,
the likes of James Orengo, they are all leaders from tertiary institutions, University of Nairobi. They moved up to taking different positions politically.
Yes.
Now he's Siaya governor, we have Babu Owino and the likes. So many of these great leaders, or rather leaders we have in the country, all of them, it started from somewhere.
Yes.
They moved all the way. And many say vijana wako na pupa, that urge of wanting the pap thing.
Yes.
Within a snap, they're somewhere. What is the process of moving up? From where you've been up to where you are, and also where you want to go?
Okay. For me, when you want to get to such positions, yes, it is a process. Myself, I was a leader in primary school when I was first appointed as class prefect. I moved to high school. I went to St. Patrick Secondary School. And before I came to St. Patrick, I was in Kobila Secondary School, where I was appointed as a lab prefect. And then that is where my leadership ambition started. I transferred to St. Patrick Secondary School in Nairobi. They first elected me as dining hall prefect, and that was not, they felt like that was not where I belonged to. In the following year, I became the school president. up to the last time when I was now moving to the university. And this is a position that gave me a chance to interact with a few leaders here and there. We shared common interests, and few of them were able to identify my vision. I was inspired by them, and up to now, wherever I go, wherever I speak, I do that networking a lot. And because of that determination, that is what has seen me to where I am today as a young leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit about support. You had touched about the issue to do with connection.
Yes.
I'll leave that aside. What are some of the things from the government, what the government can do and also other leaders can do to support this youthful vision?
Okay. I think there should just be programs, or these young leaders should be given a platform on which to express themselves, call seminars, let us have topics of discussion, identify the interest of these youths, and that is how it starts. But up to now, I feel like there has not been enough support for young leaders, because most of them depend on politicians. But I can tell you, once these people realize that there is someone who is upcoming that can maybe overtake them in future, they drop you like a hot pan, which is most of the in most cases, that is where young people get tired. They give up because they feel like it is these politicians who can get them to that platform, which is not true at all. Yeah.
Now, do you need money to stand out as a youth leader? Because we all believe, especially if you're vying for any political seat, you need some money. Do you really believe you need that much money to get you where you want to be?
You don't really need a lot of money, but again, you need money. With you need money because you will be organizing your campaigns. There is someone who maybe is campaigning for you. These people cannot do that on empty stomachs, so you just need a little. But then a Kenyan mentality today is that whoever is vying must have a lot of money to dish out to the field before they elect you. And that is one of the reasons why we have wrong leaders today. And after elections, there are a lot of corruption because, if that happens, the same people who elected these leaders have no right to question what's happening, because this person already bought the leadership from them, because they were expecting something, they were given, and then they render those positions to whoever has much money than another person.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
That is interesting. Let's take a look of John Paul. We also have Salasiam. These are young MPs. And you look at even Toto.
Yes.
Their entry into these positions, it's not by virtue of that money.
Yes.
Then what will make electorates or other people to choose you as a young leader who doesn't have money? Because some people tell you, you elect someone who doesn't have money, they go there to get that money.
Okay. What happens is that, just what I talked about earlier, there is somebody who can identify something in that person. Then they start spreading it. And that is support. Without money, and you have support, and truly you are whom you are, not pretending, then that is what That is what gets you to where you want to be. Like now, Lynette Toto and Salasia and John Paul, we are talking about. So they are there by the virtue of support by those who saw something in them. Yeah.
Interesting. Now let's talk slightly about some of these challenges that, before that, you talked about corruption.
Yes.
You don't have money, you go there, it leads to corruption. Talking about corruption, we've seen leaders, especially the government itself, from the president to different CS, noting that they are ready to fight corruption. If this is the kind of mentality that young leaders are brought up with, you get into these positions, so long as you know so and so, you can get your way through, make a little money, more money than what you're actually supposed to make in terms of corrupting your ways. What kind of mentality are they bringing out, especially to young leaders like you, who has the ambition of getting into this parliament, getting into this Senate House?
Okay. You know, when they are talking about corruption, then we see this, those people involved in these scandals maybe being taken to court, then they corrupt their ways out. To young people, it appears like it is now the lifestyle. That when you get to those positions, you have to embezzle anything and everything, and nothing will happen to you. And that is what young people, the upcoming leaders, should not give ears to. We should stand out strongly and condemn such kind of act, because these people are only killing our future. Tomorrow they will be out of those leadership positions. Then young people will be on those positions. And that means by that time, what will happen, they will not be working for the interest of the people. They will be doing what the leaders who are there before them were doing before. Because someone is corrupt and you look up to that person as your role model, definitely you will become more, worse than that person you are looking up to as your role model. So it is creating some kind of mentality that when you are a leader, you have to be corrupt, which is very pathetic.
Interesting. Now, we do understand that leaders like you, who are still young, there are different ways of making sure that you've been trying to achieve these positions, or rather to grow through the process. The challenges you guys are facing, what are some of the major challenges and the backlogs you faced?
Okay. Some of the challenges we face as young leaders is that, first of all, we have a lot of expectations. People believe that once you are in need of a leadership position, you must be very rich with deep pockets, and wherever you go, it is like, oh, mheshimiwa this and that, mheshimiwa this and that, which is not true. That everyone who is vying for a leadership position is very rich. Secondly, the challenge we face again is about support. These young leaders lack support, and whenever we turn to someone you think can support you, we only find out that there are people out there who, yes, they can identify what is in you, but they want to misuse you. They want to achieve something through you as a bridge. After they get whatever they want, they dump you. And this mostly happens with the politicians, or maybe during campaigns. Then other non-governmental organizations as well. Someone is seated somewhere, You get there as a volunteer because now you are a leader, and they know that you have the ambition to change the society and all that. You go there as a volunteer, you volunteer to work for them. Again, they misuse you. So in the process, young leaders give up and just drops everything. Yeah.
Any other challenge? And also, how do you deal with that?
Okay. There are a lot of challenges that I cannot be able to mention all of them right now, but I can tell young people that wherever this is happening, just don't give up. Continue doing what you are doing, and also do not allow people to misuse you. Stand your ground, because when you stand your ground, you will always get to wherever you want. Because once you've been misused, you will give up, and no one again will maybe come your way, because the ambitions, the visions you had, whatever is gone. People have lost trust in you because you allowed somebody to misuse you, and then whatever they were expecting from you did not come out clearly. And that leaves them, that will leave someone as a young leader in depression and all that. Yeah.
Now, let's take a look on this interesting turn of events. You've been to Masai Mara.
Yes.
You've seen the elections of students that is currently ongoing.
Yes.
And it's different from what it used to be back then.
Yes.
The Mlolongo type, they go to elect specific from the president, organizing secretary, and these other faculty representatives or other school representatives.
Yes.
Right now, you elect, you only elect
delegates. Yes.
Who will then elect the student leaders.
Yes.
How different is it? Has it solved the issue that the members of parliament were saying it will help curb the strikes and all that?
Okay, you know, with the delegate system, coalitions are formed. People agree, form maybe 2 coalitions in an institution. Then these delegates come from various communities. We find a Maasai, a Kamba, a Loya. They have come together as delegates. So it is the students who are going to elect these delegates for such and such coalition, and for various, from various departments. So you find out that with the delegate system, there is some kind of unity in the institution. And once that is put in place, cases of strikes will be low, because now there are no those who can stand out themselves and maybe start these striking cases and what have you. Yeah.
Interesting. It was one of the proposals that was really met with lots of opposition back then by certain leaders, but now it is coming into place very effectively. And now, do you think through the delegate system we get the right, or other students get the right leaders? They would want leaders who represent their vision.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you might have the delegates, they are few to manipulate. That is according to what I used to see back then.
Yes.
Now you have, like, say, 12 people to manipulate. Now these are not thousands or hundreds who came out to vote for you.
Yes.
It is now a smaller number. Can someone who doesn't have the right vision for that particular time frame manipulate them?
Okay. To some point, delegate system gives a choice of some wrong leaders I was talking about before. Because once delegates have been elected, it is them to decide who becomes the president, who becomes the SG, and all that. So if these delegates are few and they have been told we are electing so and so, you know, the larger population in the institution have been denied chance to directly elect whom they want, and they just have to accept what their delegates have given them, whoever their delegates have given them in that position. And that at some point has brought election of weak leaders who later cannot fight for the interest of the students, very easy to manipulate. I mean, that is true, that to some point delegate position has brought unfair competition in institutions. Yeah.
Interesting. I can also see time is not really on our side, but let's now, about you being a young leader, you being youthful, having that youthful vision.
Yes.
As you have, the progress you've made so far, and also the different positions you've held, especially in Rongo sub-county. What would you do to change the current course of action, the current state of the nation, the current state of Rongo, where you come from?
Okay.
What different would you do?
What we do is to, okay, you can not undo whatever has happened, but you can change the reoccurrence in the future. So what we do is to we organize programs where young people are able to showcase their talents. We teach them how to maybe invest. Those who have got different ideas, we see if they can be nurtured so that they can make a better tomorrow. Because when you have something in your pocket, something that you made yourself, there are a lot of these stressing issues that you'll prevent in future, and that means the change we want in the society would have been met. Yeah.
Interesting. So it is a matter of first nurturing the youth, making sure that the ideas they have is properly utilized.
Exactly.
Now, as we wind up, just a quick one on the current state of the nation. What will be your take on the current ongoing talks between the Azimio, that is the opposition, and the government? Where do you think the talks are headed to?
We can see that the government insists that, some government officials still come out and tell us that nothing is going to happen after the talks. And we can say it could be true because there must be a full game going on somewhere. And this as well, from my perspective, could just be a cover-up to delude unsuspecting citizens into believing that they had talks and it failed, when everything has been planned. They know how it is going to come out and all that. So I think these talks truly are going nowhere, but these government officials, they know what is going on, both the opposition and the government. Let them not lie to the citizens that they are talking and whatever. And also, to my fellow youths and anyone outside there, usichukie mwenzako because this one belongs to whatever political divide, because these people meet, they take tea together. As you suffer down there, they lie to you on the screens. Behind the curtains, things are different. So these talks are going nowhere. The opposition and the government know what they have done. They know how it is going to. They know how it is going to end, but they are still lying to the citizens that they are talking to bring things in place. No.
That is what you see.
Yes, that is what I see.
Interesting. Now, specifically on matters nurturing youth leaders into taking positions later on in the country's level.
Yes.
What will be your parting shot?
My part?
Your end statement or take takeaway notes with regards to nurturing youth leaders?
Okay, I can urge our leaders or organizations outside there to give more opportunities to the youths because we have very bright minds on these streets that cannot be identified, but this can also be done by maybe organizing seminars. Let us have more programs. Let us bring youths on board. Let us involve youths in decision-making processes and all that. Mm-hmm. And we will identify these young leaders who have not been identified to this moment because they lack that support and people to nurture whatever they have that is later going to be wasted.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, many thanks for joining me this morning, SETH ODOYO, Rongo Sub-County Youth Leader, also serving in the Youth Senate, in Migori County. Thank you for joining me this morning. That has been his position with regards to nurturing youth leaders and also the current state of the nation with regards to the ongoing Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza dialogue that seeks to end the stalemate that has been witnessed in the political scene in the country. Well, basically, I do hope you've got exactly what we were talking about this morning. Many thanks for joining us and also keeping an eye all through. We shall be calling it an end right there. Until next time, my name is SAMMY ADIKA. That has been SETH ODOYO. Remember to keep it EBN TV for news making headlines in different top of the hour.